Hello, I'm Pastor Sheila, and we're going to talk about the story of Jonah and the whale. And this story was actually written by Pan Giorgio. And we're going to look at the pictures, and I'm going to tell the story. So please follow along, and I'm going to have you help me with the story too, because I don't like to do stories by myself. So we're going to look at some of Pan's wonderful pictures. So one day, God asked a man named Jonah, everybody say Jonah, Jonah, to go to a city called Nineveh. That's kind of a weird name, isn't it? Nineveh, and to tell the people living there to stop being bad. Can you say stop being bad? Stop being bad. The only problem was that Jonah didn't want to go and help the people there. He knew they were bad, and he wanted them to be punished for what they'd done wrong. So instead of listening to God, Jonah thought he would just run away from Nineveh and not do what God asked him to do. Jonah said, I'm going to go on a ship and go into another city. So he paid the boat captain his money, and he went down in the bottom of the boat, and he know what he did? He went to sleep, and he started snoring. Can you snore for me? He started snoring. Has anyone ever been on a boat before? Let me see your head. I've been on a boat before, and I like being on a boat. Not when it's really crazy, though. So everyone put your hand on your hip and say, I don't want to go. I don't want to go. That's what Jonah said. So as soon as the boat left the shore, a really bad storm came up and started tossing the boat around. Can you make your wind and waves be going really crazy? Make your arms and your wind and waves were so big. They were so big. And oh my goodness, all the men were so scared that they started throwing everything overboard so that they wouldn't sink. They were scared. Oh my gosh, don't let us sink. The captain went down in the boat and he found Jonah and he said, how can you sleep? Get up and pray to your God and maybe he can help us. The captain didn't know that Jonah didn't just believe in any God. He believed in the God, one true God. And he knew God can help us. So let's say, everybody say together, God can help us. Ready? God can help us. Meanwhile, the other sailors decided that the storm was all Jonah's fault. So everybody, let's say that together. It's your fault, Jonah. Ready? It's your fault, Jonah. He must have done something really, really wrong to make God so angry. So they asked, what have you done? What God do you believe in? What can we do to make this storm stop? So you know what Jonah told them? He said, I believe in the Lord, the God of heaven, who made the sea and the land. And you know what? It's my fault. I'm running away from God because he asked me to do something. So you know what, guys? Jonah told him, if you just throw me into the ocean, the storm will stop. Oh my goodness, throw you into the ocean? Should they do that? Let's see. Did they end up doing that with Jonah? So I want everybody to say, the men didn't want to turn and hurt Jonah by throwing him into the ocean, but they tried their best to paddle and paddle. But you know what? The storm got worse and the waves got bigger and the wind was going crazy. So now you know what? They had to throw Jonah over. So everybody say that. Throw Jonah in. Throw Jonah in. Throw Jonah in. So they picked Jonah up, and guess what they did? They threw him in. And you know what happened? The storm stopped. Can you clap your hands with me? It stopped. Oh my goodness. The storm just stopped. And the sea was just still and smooth as glass. But yeah, where was Jonah? He was out swimming around in the water in the middle of the ocean. There was no land anywhere. He couldn't see any land. And then they realized, the men and the sailors realized that when they threw Jonah in and the sea got real still, they started believing in God. And they said, thank you, God, for saving us. Then the captain and the crew looked out, and do you know what they saw? What did they see? They saw a great big fish. And do you know what that fish did? He came up and he opened his mouth and he swallowed Jonah. He put Jonah in his mouth. This is my grandsugar's fish. It's a unicorn whale. She let me borrow it just so I could share the story with you. That fish opened its mouth and it pushed Jonah inside, and it was living in his belly. Oh my goodness. And do you know how long Jonah stayed in there? Jonah stayed in that whale's belly for, can you hold up 3 fingers? 3 days and 3 nights. He was in the belly of the whale. Now, in this picture, there's a candle. Do you think there's really candles in the bellies of whales? I'm with you. Just think what it would be like to live inside of a fish. There's no windows, no sunshine, lots of strange stuff floating around, and you can't even see because it's dark. Can you say dark? Dark. Jonah probably didn't know if he would ever see the sun or the light of day again. And you know what Jonah did while he was inside the belly of the whale? He asked God to forgive him for running away. He said, God, I'm sorry for running away. He also thanked God for keeping him safe and not drowning. And on the 3rd day, God told that fish, hey fish, swim to Nineveh. And you know what I want you to do? I want you to spit Jonah out on the land. And that's just what the fish did. Jonah was happy to be out of the belly of that fish. He spit him out onto dry land. And guess where he was? He was in Nineveh. And you know what? Jonah probably smelled like fish. Everybody say, pew-wee, pew-wee. He was stinky and smelly, and he needed a bath. Can you say yuck 3 times? Yuck, yuck, yuck. Then God told Jonah, the 2nd time, go to Nineveh. Can you all tell Jonah that with me? Go to Nineveh and tell the people there to stop being bad. Can you say, put your hand on your hip and say, stop being bad. Ready? Stop being bad. This time, Jonah obeyed God and left for Nineveh right away. When Jonah got there, do you know what he told everybody? He said, hey, I've been in the belly of a fish. God told me to come and tell you guys to stop being bad. And he warned them that God said, if you don't stop being bad in 40 days, I'm going to just wipe the whole city of Nineveh out. Oh my goodness, God must have been really mad. They must have been really bad. But you know what the city people did? They stopped being bad. They listened to Jonah. Can you imagine what he looked and smelled like? Because he told them, I've been in the belly of a whale. You don't want to go where I was. So they told God, we're sorry for what we did wrong. And even the king of Nineveh, everybody say the king. The king. The king told the people about what happened with Jonah. And he told the people to stop doing bad things. Can everybody say that? Stop doing bad things. And when God saw that they were really trying to do good things instead of bad, God felt love for them in his heart. And he did not destroy their city of Nineveh. He let Nineveh live. And you know what? They were all such happy people. Oh my goodness, look, the whale, the people, everybody had a good ending. But you know what Jonah did? Jonah was kind of mad. He was mad at God. Can you show me a mad face? He was so mad. He was mad that God didn't punish the people. He knew that God was a loving God, and he didn't understand why God didn't punish them. So Jonah went up on the hill, and he threw himself down on the side of the road, and he just had a tantrum. Can you throw a tantrum for me? He's like, oh my gosh. But you know what? God told him that I love everybody. I made everybody. They're all my children, and I would rather people do good than not bad. So thank you for going to Nineveh, and I forgave them. So you know what? We have to tell God we're sorry for doing bad things. We have to ask Jesus into our heart too. So let's see. So God, we're sorry for doing bad things. We ask Jesus into our heart to help us do good things. And thank you, God and Jesus, for loving us. Now Jesus lives in your heart. That's so cool. So now we're going to do a quick activity together, and you can watch me, and then you can go get your own stuff and do it. And then you're going to put it up on Busy Brain Learning Facebook page, and we can see what you did. Another thing I want you to do is listen to this again, and then I want you to act the story of Jonah out with your family, whoever's in the house with you. Act it out, and I want you to tell them the story of Jonah too. Okay, cool. So you know what we're going to do? We're going to make the whale. We're going to make some fish. And you know what I did? I made a little fish first. Isn't that so funny? So you can use scissors. You can ask your mom and daddy to help you. You can use tape, you can use a stapler, or even glue, whatever you have. Now this is a little fish. Can you help me make a bigger fish? Watch me how I'm going to do it. You just take a paper plate or a round piece of paper, and you're going to just do a triangle. Do you know what a triangle is? Now this fish had to have some big teeth, a big mouth. So there's the big fish. Let's glue his tail. Let's glue or tape, or we can actually staple. Pastor Sheila's going to staple because it's just faster. So I'm going to staple it. You can leave it with the words on it, or you can leave it where it's just white. And then you know what we're going to do? We are going to draw a face on him. Do you think the whale was a happy whale? He needs to have an eye. So can you put a face on him? Let me grab a marker out of my desk here. All right, let's put a face on him. Uh-oh, that one is all closed. Let's do a face on him. He's got to be a big whale. Should it be a girl whale or a boy whale? It doesn't matter. And then he's going to have a smile because he put Jonah in his tummy and God used him. So I want you, just like what this author did, I want you to make some fish, big fish and small fish. And see how Jonah was inside in the water? You can make a family of fish, and then you can use your fish to act out Jonah and the whale. So there's a little fish, a big fish, and you know what? You could even use a really big paper plate and make a great big fish. That would be all kinds of a whole family, big, medium, and little. That would be super cool. And act out Jonah and the fish. Can't wait to see your video of you guys acting out Jonah and the fish that you made. All right, so from our hearts to you, keep those busy brains learning. Talk to you later.